Hey everyone, and today we are doing the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies worst to best with all the main guns, with all the guns including DLC. This has been definitely long awaited. As I said, I'd do this a while ago. And also just I lost all the footage last time I tried to do this. So this time I hope I don't lose all the footage. Well, obviously I didn't lose all the footage. Anyway, I don't know why I said I hopefully won't. I'm recording this late at night as I typically record these videos. And let's just get into this because we have 53 weapons to do. And it's a lot. So, rules of this list, I suppose. We're just ranking them based on how effective and how fast they are at killing. Looking at the best type of them, kind of like, you know how they have that like weird variant system where you can have like, not variant, but more of a, I don't know, like the leveling system each gun has. We're going to considering all of them. What's best for the player, we're including Pack-a-Punch. For pistols, we are considering dual wield as well as their just single use. They're both combined in this, and also a little bit of my opinion being in this. I always have to say that. So yeah, let's get right into this. So to begin, at our 53 spot, it's just all melee weapons. I'm combining all melee into one category because they're all relatively the same. Some have faster movement, as you see and some have slower movement, as you guys can see in the footage right now. So that's kind of an issue. But you have to get up close to zombies, and that's not what you want to do, especially on these like if you get to higher rounds, and even on lower rounds, as you guys can see that it can still be a little bit tough if you're not paying attention or not careful. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about melee weapons. I think I think using any melee weapon is worse compared to every single other gun in the game. At our number 52 spot, it's a weapon that is not far off a melee weapon. It is the ballistic knife. The only thing that the ballistic knife has over the melee weapons is the fact that you can shoot the blade of the knife out. That's about it. Not much else that's worth saying, to be honest. That's all it is. Anyway, at our number 51 spot are the Marshalls. I originally thought these were good until I actually play tested them. They are very, very bad. I was using like the purple level on round like 20. I was killing like 3 zombies for 4 shots. Like, it was horrible as a pistol shotgun. I thought they were a lot better, and they're just not. Obviously dual wield is better, but I wouldn't use these at all. Every other gun is better than using that, and it's just the worst pistol. At our number 50 spot is the KSP 45. Every time I've used this gun, it's always been like the green level, and it's always been bad. Like, I just immediately throw it away because I've hated it. Because it's just, I've never experienced a good one of these. Like, yeah, even when I got the occasional like purple level on like D Machine, they're still not that great. I mean, I'd much rather have half the other guns on this list. Well, not half, almost all the other guns on this list compared to that. And it's just not that good. Anyway, at our number 49 spot is the 1911. It had to be on here somewhere. The fact that they don't become explosive annoys me, and it just becomes another boring Pack-a-Punch pistol. It's not that bad, honestly, but the fact that it's not like not even 3-round bursts or even fully automatic brings it down. And depending on the attachments you get or the attachments you have, you could have a slower fire rate. And it kind of holds it back, honestly. The 1911 isn't, I wouldn't say it's absolutely bad, but I would much rather have a lot of other guns on this list. And it's kind of like one of the average pistols, but compared to the other weapons, it's not good. Anyway, at our number 48 spot is the Pelington. This gun is... So, getting anywhere past round like 20 with this thing is bad. Never use it past like round 20. Also, I'm just gonna say this now, a lot of the footage you're gonna see is are these weapons on early rounds, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm really lazy to go out and go out to like round 30, 53 times and just play test all of them. There's a couple weapons gonna be like that, but not all. I know I've tested the Pelington and the gun after this because I had to get diamond on them, but God, I hated getting diamond. You basically had to get headshots, and once you have to require that, it's just not that good. And overall, it's not slow, but it's slower compared to the next gun. And I'm just gonna say it now. At our number 57 spot is the Swiss K31, and these guns are pretty like they should be next to each other, no matter where they're on the list. They're basically the same thing, just reskinned, except the Swiss has like a slightly higher damage and it's a faster aim down sight time, which is why it's over the Pelington. But I swear, using the Swiss has been like the most frustrating sniper to use for the diamond skin. It was so frustrating. Once I finally got like all those headshots down and stuff, and those kill requirements, I was completely done. I don't want to touch this gun again. It's my least favorite sniper to use in Call of Duty Zombies for Cold War. All right, at our number 46 spot is the Carve 2, and overall, I don't think I've had a terrible experience with it, but it just doesn't beat a lot of the other tactical rifles on this list. And I don't have much else to say. It's not a horrible gun, but it's still in the bad section just because it can't compete to some of the other guns. And that you're gonna see that a lot. A lot of these, like, now we're getting to the section where it's like bad, okay, and good are kind of overlapping a bit, and you will see my opinion definitely shine here. I mean, once we get to like gray and top 10, those are going to be the ones that are like almost guaranteed to be like the best. But these, they're really not that great. And I'm trying to go fast because just for time's sake. Anyway, at our number 45 spot is the Otis 9, and this is the worst SMG. I've used all of the SMGs in Zombies. Actually, no, it's the second worst SMG. I realized the KSP 45 is worse, but it's the worst DLC SMG, and it was kind of disappointing to just use it. And another gun that's very similar to it, and at the 44 spot, is the Tech 9. Very similar gun, just not a great DLC SMG. It's fine on early rounds. A lot of these guns are pretty fine on early rounds, but it's just nowhere near as good as the other guns. At our number 43 spot is the UGR, which is considered an SMG, but I consider more of an AR. It's the underwater assault rifle. And the biggest issue with this is it's just... I'm pretty sure it has a much slower rate of fire, and the damage isn't as good. And it's one of the more worse SMGs. A lot of these SMGs are not great. A lot of the DLC SMGs are not great compared to the vanilla game SMGs, as you guys can see. But just like using this on high rounds, it's just not that good. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say. At our number 42 spot is the MAC-10, and the MAC-10 is, think of it like the Shicom from Black Ops 2. Very fast fire. You can get this thing to have a very fast fire rate and very good mobility, but its damage is like really bad. Like, it does nothing. And especially on the later rounds, you might as well have almost any other gun besides this. At our number 41 spot is the M16, which may surprise some people, but every time I've used the M16 on later rounds in the game, it has always underwhelmed me. And it's probably, and just from my personal experiences, it is the worst vanilla AR. There's nothing special about the M16 in this game. It just feels like, I don't know. I mean, looking back at like Black Ops 1, where it was actually pretty decent, this thing it's just not, it just doesn't really compete. There's just much better guns out there. And at our 40 spot is the AUG, which, similar story to the M16, where it's just, it's not bad, but it's not great either. But I felt underwhelmed with it, so which is why I'm ranking it this low. Also, when we hit the UGR, we hit the OK section. Everything before that was bad. Now we're in the OK section. I'm gonna start saying that from here on out. There's gonna be something on the video screen that will tell you when we're still in it. Anyway, at our number 40 spot is the Groza, which I think is one of the more worse ARs. It has one of the lower damages in my opinion, but doesn't really have anything else to back it up. It's more of an SMG if anything, but just considering that it's not that great of an AR. I would pick many other guns over it, and compared to some of the other DLC guns, which are actually pretty decent, it's just not that great. At our number 39 spot is the EM2, and this gun is not, it did fine, but there's guns better than it. That's what, like, we're at this point where these guns are not bad, but there's just plenty of guns better than it. So yeah, use the EM2 if you need to, but it's not, like, I'd pick many other guns over it. So yeah, that's that's our 38 spot, I believe. Yeah. I think I said 40 on accident for the Groza. It's 39 for the Groza, 38 for the EM2. And it did surprise me a little bit, but overall it's just not that great of a assault rifle compared to many other guns on this list. At number 37 spot is the Lapa, which is an AR, I believe. And anyway, it's not an AR, hold up, but it's an SMG. Anyway, the build feels like it feels like the shotgun from Modern Warfare 3, if you know what I'm talking about. But it's an SMG. It's overall not bad. It has decent speed and accuracy and all that. But as with most SMGs in the game, the firepower is just not there. However, it is much better compared to like the Tech 9 and Otis as well. The Tech 9 and Otis 9. But I call it the OTS 9, sorry. I call it the Otis, but it's whatever. Anyway, now at the beginning of our good section is the M60. And out of all the LMGs, it's the worst. However, I still would grab it if I find it. It's just it's one of the more it's the heaviest SMG, I'm pretty sure, or at least the one that gives you the least mobility. And I mean, the damage on it's fine though. It's a bit of a slow fire rate compared to all the other guns though, and the M60 is not bad. It's just the worst LMG, which is the issue. Anyway, now on to our number 35 spot. I probably said that one was 36. This is 35. The M82 Barrett, and it's just called the M82 in this game. I call it the Barrett, but it's a Barrett 50 cal, and it is it very much surprised me. The recoil on this thing is abysmal, but its damage is so high that it's worth it. Honestly, you take the scope off and like try to lower that recoil down, you're gonna be golden, because just it has a very high damage. It has a lot of damage on it, and compared to a lot of the other snipers on this list, it can't really compete to that. And yeah, although it is very annoying to use, especially in zombies, because of how heavy it is in the recoil, if you can deal with that, you have a very good sniper on your hands. Anyway, at a number 34 spot, sorry, like the numbers on my chart are messed up, so sorry if I keep saying the wrong number. The right number is listed on there though, on the screen. We are at number 34, which is the Magnum, and I feel like this is the weakest Magnum we've had in any zombies game. This is by no means a bad gun, and I will pick it up and play with it, honestly. But compared to a lot of the other pistols, well, it's more of like the average pistol, if that makes sense. That's why it's down here. I don't know, I don't have anything super negative to say about the Magnums. I've always enjoyed them. Just I felt a little bit underwhelmed when using them, and compared to some of the other pistols, I'm pretty sure it has the most damage. So no, it doesn't, but it has one of the better damages with a decent fire rate. It's an overall pretty good gun. Anyway, at our number 33 spot is the RPD, and I don't have anything bad to say against the RPD. When I get it out of the box or by chance, I actually tend to enjoy it pretty well. It's nothing too great or nothing. We're at this point where like nothing's bad here. It's just the guns that are better than it are noticeably better than it, you know? So that's what I can say about the RPD. Pretty average LMG. At our number 32 spot, and something I kind of regret putting this low, but it's the Type 63. And using this, I probably should have put it a lot higher. But I don't know, the fact that it's a semi-automatic and you really have to aim for headshots for this to be effective. But if you do that, this thing will be very, very good to you, and it'll be a very, very nice tactical rifle. And honestly, one of the better tactical rifles. I have it listed here as the second best tactical rifle, so it's very, very good, and killing the zombies. At our number 31 spot is the LC10, and now we're getting to SMGs that are actually pretty good. Ones where you're like, oh, I actually don't mind using this anymore. Although I tend to get the more worse versions out of the box, if you get it up to like some of the higher tiers, higher levels, it is so good. And it has one of the best mobility, in my opinion, in the game, with being one of the better damages. So that's what I can say about the LC10. Anyway, at our number 30 spot is the QBZ, which is basically the Type 25 from Black Ops 2, except without the recoil. And honestly, that gun's not bad in that game. It's just the recoil that drags it down to whatever spot it was at. And because it's just a more fixed version of that, it's in the good section. It's pretty good. But honestly, I would have to say this is like the most average assault rifle there is. It's not too bad, not too great. I will use it, but there's better guns out there. That's how you should think about this gun. That's how I think about this gun. Anyway, at our number 29 spot is the DMR, our final tactical rifle. Just using this and playtesting this is the best tactical rifle to use. And it really tells you like that the tactical rifles in this game are not that great if the lowest one is at 29. If the best one's at 29, sorry. None of them are like amazing, and that is kind of weird to me, but I mean, it's how it is, and it's kind of how we gotta rank it. The DMR it's good, but you got to, I mean, you just gotta know how to use it, I guess. I'm recording this at like 11 at night, so sorry if I mess up a little bit here and there, but anyway, it's just, there's better guns out there that don't use a tactical rifle in zombies. You'll have a slow fire rate it'll be slow fire rate with high damage, yeah, but you just don't get any benefits with it if you do that. Anyway, on to our number 28 spot is the Vargo 52, and this has a feeling of being weak. Yeah, it's actually not that weak, if that makes sense. Personally, I haven't used the Vargo 52 that much, but it's been overall pretty good when I've used it, and I haven't had many issues, but just there are many other guns better than it. At our number 27 is the C58 assault rifle. A gun that has a bit weaker damage, however, the fire rate and just the overall, I feel that the C58 is better than the Vargo 52, although like statistically wise that they're not, but it feels much better. And from playtesting it, I've used the C58 more, and I would much rather have the C58 compared to the Vargo 52. That may not be how you play, but that's personally how I would play. At our number 27 spot is the FARA 85. Not 85, 83. I don't know why that's a 5. That's weird. I read that as a 5 on accident. Anyway, just another one of those, like, all these assault rifles are kind of like in the middle of the road. They're not bad, they're not great, but they're kind of just average. Which is why some of these guns are so hard to rank in this game, because one, there's so many, two, a lot of them are the same thing, just reskinned in my opinion, or just different variables, like different attachments and stuff. So there's that. At our number 26 spot is the FFAR. And FFAR1, very much of a downgrade from the previous FFARs we've gotten, with the very high rate of fire and the very large magazine, but still overall a good gun, and I would highly recommend it for anyone who wants a solid AR. Now we're entering the top 24. We have the AK-47U, and I'm annoyed that they did not keep the same name as before, which was the AK-74FU2. But I mean, the gun's overall pretty good. It's a solid SMG, honestly. I haven't really ever had an issue with it. It's pretty common one too. There's always a wall weapon for it, so that's always helpful. And with it having being a much better SMG overall, but we're kind of entering the stage where these guns now are entering, like, these are actually like good guns. So I'd highly recommend the AK-47U, AK-74U. I don't know why I said 47U. That's weird. Anyway, AK-74U, pretty solid overall. Number 24 spot is the Bullfrog. You can kind of see I kind of put like some of these guns all together. All these guns are pretty average here though. Although the AK-74U and a couple other guns that were about to come up are more thought about, but some of these SMGs and ARs are kind of just here because they're average, and I can't really place them anywhere specifically. The Bullfrog, overall pretty good. I've always had a good experience with it. But just there's much better guns compared to it, as you guys can see. At our number 22 spot is the PPSH. And I mean, the PPSH is a PPSH. It's always been very good, although the decreased magazine size compared to previous games and just the overall sense of lacking a character in this game because of how this game is with attachments and such. But it's still not a bad gun, and I would still recommend it to people at this point. Anyway, at our number 21 spot is the Milano, and this is I'm pretty sure the Milano has one of the highest mobilities, and every time I've gone a Milano from this game, it's always been a really good one. The gun's always been really good. It's always been pretty reliable, and I've never had, and it's always had a scope, and it's always been good for headshots, which is why I appreciate the Milano that very much. Anyway, at our number 20 spot is the Stoner 63, and this is probably one of the better LMGs. It's a solid magazine size, solid, like, you're not too much slowed by it, solid amount of firepower. It's pretty accurate too, and it actually feels one of the more unique guns, especially since we haven't got the Stoner 63 since Black Ops 1, and I very much appreciate the gun that we have here. And it's very well in zombies, and I think it's very good. As we get into our top 20, at our number 19 spot is the LW3 Tundra. This is one of the better snipers in the game. Has some of the highest damage. When I was using this gun to get to the diamond skin, I'd never had an issue with it, and I would recommend the Tundra if you get it, because it has the firepower. It actually has some of the speed and accuracy, and has a decent ammo size to back it up compared to like the Pellington and the Swiss. I would pick the Tundra every day over those two if you guys could. Anyway, at our number 18 spot is the nail gun, and at times, overall, the nail gun is a very solid gun. The weaker version, in the later rounds, I would not recommend, but if you have this like as a legendary gun, use it, because honestly, the nail gun should be a lot higher up in my opinion. I probably should have ranked it higher. And also with a nail gun, we are in the great section, the great category. So yeah, but the nail gun is a very great weapon to use, and I highly recommend it to anyone who just wants to try it out, honestly. At number 17 spot is the AK-47. Very, very solid AR. Never had an issue with it. It has a very good amount of firepower. It's a very strong weapon, very reliable AR, and just simply never had a major issue with it. At number 16 spot is the MP5. And the MP5 in this game had a massive buff, because I swear this thing is so much better with the right attachments compared to many other guns on this list. And I feel like you always get a good one from whether it be the box or just off the wall. It's always a very solid SMG, and it'll hold you throughout the game, basically. At our number 15 spot is the R1 Shadow Hunter, and this is a crossbow, and it's a very good crossbow too. It's one shot for a very long time, especially even when you pack punch it, it'll be a one shot for days. And although the ammunition could be better in my opinion, it's still overall a very great gun. I would worry about fire rate and stuff like that, and ammunition. Those are my two biggest concerns, but otherwise the damage is there. It's a highly accurate gun, and I feel like most of the snipers should have been a lot similar to how this gun operates. Anyway, at our number 14 spot is the XM4, and This is probably one of the most solid and reliable ARs in the entire game, even like multiplayer stuff too. But it's basically the commando, and it's very solid. It's going to keep you going throughout the game, and it's just personally one of my favorite ARs to use. And but however, it's not the best AR, but it's like top 3 ARs. Would pick this over many other ARs in the game. At our number 13 spot is the MG82, and using this thing on high rounds Pack-a-Punched was very, very fun. You could basically just treat this as like an MG42 at that point. As you guys can see in the clip, I'm basically like mowing down the zombies with this thing, and it is a very, very good LMG in the game with a very fast fire rate. Although the damage could be a little bit better, but I mean, it'll hold you for a long time. You just got to make sure that the damage is actually up there. And another good perk about this, has above average ammo count, so that's always helpful. Anyway, at number 12 spot is the ZRG 20mm. So why is this sniper above all the others? One, it has the highest damage in the game. The sniper has the highest damage in the game. So, and compared to a lot of other weapons in the game, this also has one of the highest damage outputs in the game. You can take off the scope, and it's another powerful gun there. I think you can take off the scope. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, it's always been a one-shot, one-kill for me, and if it wasn't, I'd Pack-a-Punch it, and it'd still be a one-shot, one-kill. So this is one of the best guns in the game. It's not quite the best. The fire rate is the only thing that keeps it from being in the top 10. If it had the fire rate of the M82, this gun would be broken. It'd be like top 5. But there are multiple guns much better than it. So we got a number 11 spot is the 410 Ironhide. We are finally getting into the shotguns, and I have to simply say this lever action shotgun is just the worst. But it's still one of the better guns, and that's what you should say about shotguns, how they are in this game. In Cold War, shotguns got such a massive buff because not only are they probably the best for points, but they also do some of the best damage. So you're just golden when you're using these shotguns. But just this gun's just the worst of the shotguns in my opinion. Has relatively low fire rate compared to some of the other guns, and the damage isn't necessarily lacking. It has actually one of the higher damage outputs, but it's just not simply the best. It's only a single shot, so it's not a single shot, but you can't. It has the slowest fire rate, and that's something I really enjoy with some of the other shotguns, and why those are placed much higher. Cracking at our top 10, we're starting off with the M79 grenade launcher, and the reason why this is here is because, one, if you don't have I think PhD still helps with splash damage in this game anyway, but you can just launch these, like you pack punches 3 times, get it maxed out, and you can just shoot at this into a horde for days. It's great against bosses, it's great against regular zombies, it's great against everything. And I've never really had a bad experience with the M79, and it's always been a very, very good launcher, grenade launcher basically. However, compared to the other grenade launchers, it's the worst. At our number 9 spot is the Sigma 2, and this is one of the more traditional launchers. However, it's the worst because it is much heavier compared to the other launcher, the RPG. And it tends to have this issue of, it's not an issue. It likes to track onto certain targets, which is great for bosses. But if you're sitting there training and just trying to get kills, it's not that good because it will miss them sometimes. So that can be a bit frustrating, but it's one of the heaviest ones. It has the highest damage though. But if it was even a little bit lighter, this would be it wouldn't be number 1, it'd be the best launcher. but they're just simply better guns out there, honestly. At our number 8 spot is the AMP-63. Okay, so why is this pistol up so high? And one of the biggest ones is that it's automatic. However, the damage is a lot lower than preferred, but this thing is actually pretty decent against both bosses and regular zombies. It's very good against it's very good for just straight up killing the zombies, even when Pack-a-Punch and this is only assuming, I'm assuming in dual wield in this case, but even single use, even the single one will still be very effective at killing the zombies. And just continuing, like, it's a very reliable pistol, I would say. Basically, the PM-63s from Black Ops 1, which are very good if you use it for a very specific circumstance in that game, but they excel compared to a lot of the other guns that can do it at that game. Anyway, but it's just not the best, but it's still very, very well done. I'd say most of the guns between like 15 and 1 kind of can be argued to be interchangeable. They're all really good, I would say. For this list, I should have done top 15, honestly. But I would highly recommend a lot of these guns. Anyway, at our number 7 spot is the Grav. And why is this the second best AR? It's basically a Galil, which has always been good in zombies, so it gets that boost. And it's overall, I have no issues with the Grav. It's basically, like I said, it's basically a Galil, and honestly, I can't say anything negative about it. It's just great firepower, it's good fire rate, good speed. No major issues. I just think the next gun, which is also an AR, at our number 6 spot, the Krig 6, I think it just barely edged out the Galil in this case for once. And the Krig 6 is the best AR. Once you get it to higher levels, it'll last you even, like, this is interchangeable for, like, it's not interchangeable, but this is a very reliable assault rifle, and it's the most reliable assault rifle to me. And you cannot go wrong with using the Krig 6. It's always going to help you. It's great against bosses, it's great against regular zombies, it's against everything, good against everything. That's what the Krig 6 does. Same with the Graf, where the Krig 6 is better at it. Anyway, at number 5 spot, it's the Street Sweeper shotgun. And what can I say about the Street Sweeper? Anyway, very fast fire rate, very high ammo count, poor reload speed, and if you put a suppressor on it, it's not going to be good. So, honestly, just fixing that reload speed and make sure you don't put a suppressor on this gun, but that's what it'd be perfect after that. That's all you have to do to make this gun amazing. And I feel like that's what most people do. It's overall a very reliable gun. It's very mobile. That fire rate will kill anything. That's why I love it. But it's not the best shotgun though. It's honestly a more average shotgun, and that's just showing you how good the shotguns are in this game, when one of the more average ones is top 5. At our number 4 spot is the RPG. This thing is one of the most perfect guns, like all the last 4 guns are perfect in my opinion. RPG is perfect at killing regular zombies, at boss zombies. There's a cool glitch where you can shoot 2 rockets for the price of 1 if you just spam it, which is always fun. And it's just perfect. I have never issue with the RPG, and it's why I have diamond for it. It's just an amazing launcher, and I have no issues with it. At number 3 spot is the best pistol in the game, which is the Diamatti. These things were great in multiplayer for a while back in the early days of Cold War, and even now in zombies, you get a legendary version of this. This thing will take out the main, like, big boss Orda so fast. Like, I use it. There may even be a clip on my YouTube channel somewhere, like in the Funny Random Stupid and Cool series, about me just spamming this against Orda and like it dies in like 30 seconds, which is very fast for using a pistol for dual pistols. So that's the reason why it's up here. Just that one experience is like, this is the best pistol in the game. There's no denying it. And although it's 3-round burst, it kind of helps you keep track of where your bullets are going, kind of. I actually like the 3 burst aspect for this because you can still spam it, but yet it feels safer to use, if that makes sense. And overall, it's just a very, very good set of pistols. Even single use, like even the single one will be very, very good, very reliable, and the best pistol in my opinion. And number 2 and 1 are these are interchangeable based on your playstyle in my opinion. So at number 2 I put the Hauer 77. At number 1 I put the Gallo SA12. If we're talking about the Hauer first, well, they're basically the same shotgun, so I'll kind of just show them back to back on here. For the Hauer, it has a higher damage output but slower fire rate, and the Gallo has a lot faster fire rate but a little bit lower damage, and that's why I put the Gallo at number 1, is because the damage is only a little bit less than the Hauer, but the fire rate is what brings it so much higher, and you can just spam out and if you get headshots with this thing, you will keep going and going and going forever. The Hauer is not bad nonetheless. It's just a bit slower fire rate, but if you like that one shot and they're gone no matter what feel, the Hauer is your go. And there's nothing wrong with it. It has one of the highest damages for shotguns, and it's a moderate rechamber speed. It has relatively low. It has a lower recoil, and it's just overall it's a very, very good shotgun. I just think I just prefer the Gallo more, and I think it's better. Although it does have a higher recoil and can lower your visibility a little bit, you set this up the way it's supposed to be set up, which is like no stock and just some of the best attachments for it. It's just the most effective shotgun. It's the most effective gun, and it's gonna kill the zombies. It's gonna kill all bosses. It's gonna even kill Orda the fastest compared to any of the other guns on this list. It's the best shotgun, in my opinion, the best gun in this game. Alright, so that was my Cold War worst to best as fast as I can. And yeah, I'm just gonna end it here. A couple other ones that are coming up would be the Black Ops and World at War redos, which are a lot shorter lists compared to this, and will be much easier for me to record. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. See you guys next time, and goodbye.